party, I'm a real go-getter. Rock a fur coat, but it's not chinchilla. Who's that dude with the master plan? It's Mr. Pinecone with the mic in my hand. I ball on a budget, got a bag full of nuggets. Living life to the fullest before I'm kicking the bucket. No time for the haters, I'm the meat and potatoes. I'm the product of Anunnaki and godly invaders. You wanna go down the rabbit hole? Well, come along with me. Let me phone comb. Let me take you on a trip to the Pleiades or the seven seas. We can sail them all. Bring your dungarees and your toothbrush, your knapsack. We'll have a nightcap, then I'll bring you back. Mr. Pinecone's come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way.
What's going on, believers? Guys, if Ryan Patrick can broadcast coconuts and shit like that from some island somewhere, then God damn it, I can do the same thing. So here we are today on the island of I don't even fucking know. But one thing I do know is Tara is going to have a lot of explaining to do tomorrow. I cannot wait to see this. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to see this AMA. And by the way, while we were sitting there, they announced that BKeX was going to have them listed. Now, I don't think that that's the big listing that they were talking about. But just a little while ago, Binance US posted on their post. Now, in order for that to have happened and for that to have been going on, that has to be that someone that knows somebody there had to have been fighting to say that it's erroneous. So it's most probably someone from another crypto that was doing it, but they really have a lot of explaining to do tomorrow. I'm going to be interested. I hope everybody else is going to be tuning in to see exactly what it is that happened that led to this moment. This dog is going to, God damn it. Dog. Come on, man. Just stop breathing for a little while. Okay? That's my boy. Man, this dog is out of control. I don't think the email is fake. I think Milton read it. So the 22nd post without consulting. So that's what I think too. Like that's my initial thing. But if you go to, and I'm going to go over it in just a second. We're going to look real quick at the trading, and we're going to see here that Terra is trading at 55.96, down big time, and it's down big time because when you check over here, you can see that, and y'all didn't see me talking to Classy, so. But if you go to Terrareum over here and you see this email right here, by the way, here we go. We've got the BKeX listing soon. A great project is underway. BKeX has reached an in-depth cooperation with Terareum and will launch soon. And that's from BKeX Global. So they will be trading. Might as well follow them. They will be trading on BKeX Global very shortly. But if you go to this post, it says Binance US, thank you for having us on board. And down here, it says right here, hi, this email did not come from Binance US. Please do not send them any funds or provide them with any information. Stay safe out there, everyone. Which, of course, has now got everybody kind of freaking out because that's not a good look. Like that's, one of the things that we thought, one of the things that we believed in this whole process was that the Terrarium people were above silly mistakes and stuff like that. It's very possible still that they are above those kind of mistakes and that this is just one of those moments where the quote unquote bad guys get the upper hand for a little while. Why do I have some? Anyway, I think that we have, it's very tough. Like it's very, very, very tough right now to know what's going on, and nobody is allowed to say anything. Like they are absolutely not able to make a comment. My man RD, everybody is just silent right now. I haven't seen him going through chat like normally. RD is going in and out of everybody's chats Like he's everywhere trying to make something happen. So yeah, I'm in the I'm in the drawn Caribbean. Um, but like things are crazy. So it's 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 just insane. Like it really is insane what's going on over here. And I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, and by the way, if you noticed, my island is so much nicer than Ryan's. Ryan's is all like real and shit, but mine is completely cartoon. And as we know, cartoon islands are so much better. I'm going to sleep really good tonight, by the way, though, because today was a great day for my for my bag. So I'm not really mad, not really upset. I would really like to see it just kind of go crazy. I think that there's more to this announcement, and it feels like maybe they have more to announce because BKeX can't be it. Like I don't think that it can be it, but BKeX is still a pretty big exchange. So them listing, is it really? Oh shit, it sure is. Oh well. See, my island has graffiti, is what happened. So with that graffiti stuff, yeah. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. Let's do this. Let's go with a different background. Let's do this. Uh-oh. All right. Saitama will start kicking ass very soon. I'm not sure that that's the case. It would be nice if it were the case because I'm still going to make out like a bandit if Saitama moves. And quite honestly, if both of them move, I'm going to be in great shape. By the way, guys, if you didn't notice, Shiba Inu is now a sponsor of the channel along with Pongu and along with Volt. So if you're in any one of these, please give them all the love in the world. Thank them for supporting me. I'm going to... Ew. Get all nasty with these virtual backgrounds. Let's just do blur. Oh, there we go. Ha ha. All right, now this is the classy side of Mars, so or Earth or wherever it is. So anyway, let's go over kind of what happened today. Today we had Terrarium that pulled out with. By the way, look at that shirt. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right. So the way I understand how this all played out and the way I saw it was somebody had a just ran with some information. It seems like maybe it was Milton because it looked like it was addressed to Milton. It would be hard to say that it's somebody else. So I think that he believes, no matter what, that it is Binance. Like I think that that is the case. So that seems to be pretty solid. And when we saw it originally, it said listings at Binance.us. Now, listen, everything can be spoofed. I understand that, but let's take it with a grain of salt for just a moment and say that that email was not the first of the emails. That is probably a chain of emails, and I don't know how his email works. It looked like maybe it was iOS, so it maybe I'm not sure how that was. And then I think that he woke up and he legitimately thought that it was the 23rd of the month and that he was just posting what he was allowed to post because the NDA was up. And then the next thing you know, there it is. And then the market, everybody just starts going crazy because they're like, oh my God, Binance is listed. And then the people who are fudders, and those are people in other tokens or people who have something to lose. And if you go look at the charts, then you'll know exactly who they are. Anybody who was just getting absolutely wrecked when all this was going on, you would see that they were obviously upset with whatever was happening, and then they were probably looking for a reason to be mad. Now, it's not really, the email was a little bit misspelled, but if it was typed out from somebody, it's entirely possible that somebody just typed it out poorly, something like that. It's so I'm not really like, it's just a little bit odd. And admittedly, we should all at least admit it. It's a little bit odd. that all of this was happening. And then, so we get the price pump, and I sold at the top because, not because I was nervous, but because, I mean, take your profit on the way up. And then scroll down. Yeah, BKeX, by the way, it is a top 10 listing in the world. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with a BKeX listing. We should all be so lucky as to have a BKeX listing. And for a token that's coming through it and starting, that's actually a really good listing. So, you know, there's no problem there with having a BKeX and OKEX. Any kind of those exchanges are really good. Those are Asian, and that's the kind of market that you want to penetrate, because it's also kind of big in India. So I think we're good, you know. But you want to see that Binance. So everything starts getting sent, everything starts syncing on other tokens, and then people start pointing out the obvious spelling errors. And then somebody from Saitama, which in this case, I don't like naming the token because I spent enough time arguing with them over they're so jealous. Listen, the amount of jealousy that they have right now is just a little weird. So somebody there wants to verify their email because they're in charge of something. So they send over the email, and Binance US says that that's not from them, but that's not really the case. Like, it's not. Yeah, please hit that like button. Please smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It definitely helps me out. So they get that, and then they start posting that. And then Russ decides that he's going to get in because, you know, rather than supporting another developer, any token that doxes one of its investors in order to allow people to attack that investor, obviously would pile on when there's anything going on. So then you see Russ starting to stir the pot, and you're going to play dumb. He doesn't. I know he doesn't have to play, but you're going to play dumb, and you're going to pretend like I wasn't doing that for that. That was for anybody else who might be going through something. You know, he was trying to be one above. The guy with no exchanges is trying to tell how people how to get on exchanges. So that plays out, and then a little while later, you start to see RD and Pramada. They both make posts, and it just says, "We'll see you at the AMA the next day." Now, when you see that, that is, in my mind, that's not good. That's the feeling. That is a bad feeling that you're giving to people. When you really want to give them is a sense of comfort, like everything's going to be fine, just chill out. That's going to be, it's going to be cool. And you don't get that from them. What you end up getting is it's going to be, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. And then the same thing, Dr. Praveen comes out, and Dr. Praveen then says, because we are under an NDA, we cannot talk about anything until tomorrow. So then we get to thinking about that. Now, what does that mean to you? Because to me, that sounds like a person that's telling me, chill out, everything's going to be fine, quit being a baby. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Like, that's what it seems like to me, that he's telling me that they have something working. That's what's going to happen. So here we are. And then it goes, you know, time goes on. We're all digging in. We're all trying to figure it out. And then we get Binance US. I'm still going to call it Binance, but Binance US says, hey, this is what's going on. We're not associated with it. That's not from us. Now, that is entirely possible at that point, that it's not. It also is entirely possible that I don't know what the validity is of that thing, but now we have this entirely volatile area here. Now, the question at this point for everybody is somebody's trust broken? What exactly is going on with this thing? And the answer is, we don't really know, but I think that we're gonna I asked Dr. Parvin. I think that we're going to be fine. Like, I think tomorrow we end up walking into this and we see, like, wow, these guys actually did have their stuff together, and here's what we needed. And I think we're all going to feel a whole lot better about our positions tomorrow once we get to that AMA, because I got this feeling. Hey, CoinView Cat, by the way, your spot's still empty. What's going on, Keith? I think that everybody's feeling that little sense of nervousness, but I don't think that we have any reason to be nervous. First of all, it's a brand new crypto, and that doesn't make it okay or anything like that. This is Dr. Parveen. I cannot respond to slander. You can believe what you want. I don't know what that means, other than he can do that. It's kind of weird, kind of awkward to me. But here's the important thing. The important thing is there's a BKeX listing. That means that something is going to move there. And there you go. I think Toy's probably saying it right here. Binance can't say anything about it either. All they can do is come out and deny until tomorrow. We're going to see something that says something otherwise. Hey, by the way, Keith, are we sold out or what? Are we sold out? We're at 100. We're at 1,500, right? Like, is this all completed? And guys, hit the like button. Smash the subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously. So, but that leads us to where we're going to be tomorrow. And when we get to tomorrow, we're going to hear what they have to say. And what they're going to have to say is, and look, these guys are professionals. These guys, 26 hours. It is all done. Man, could you imagine that, guys? 1,500 Ethereum sold out in 26 hours, which is a new record for Pulo. So that's a pretty big deal. But anyway, so we're going to find out tomorrow, and we're going to know exactly what's going on with these guys. One of the things that you can admire about them, even in a bad moment, is that they don't hide behind anything. I know that we think it feels like they're hiding today, but they can't violate any kind of non-disclosure or any kind of agreement that they may have had or do have. So I don't think that there's anything that they can make a comment on, positive, negative, or anywhere in between at this point. I think that they are just screwed in terms of being able to talk right now. But tomorrow we're going to find out probably something decent. Like I can't imagine that there's an NDA for something that didn't work out. Didn't they violate it by releasing the email? So let's say that they did. It's up to the provider to decide what that penalty is. And if they decide that there's no penalty, or that they understand that this was an error, and maybe these guys came to them and said, hey, look, we screwed up. This guy didn't understand the dates, that he's from somewhere else or something like that, then maybe they're just like, you know what? Okay, but we can't respond. We can't say anything. You can't say anything else. If anybody says anything, this deal is dead. You know what I mean? So it's very possible that that's where we're sitting. It's also very possible that we're going to find out tomorrow that it didn't work out the way we thought. But remember, these are the kind of guys that dot their I's, cross their T's. They do all the good things that people need to do. So I got a feeling that they're probably until they post for a strict. Yeah, it's so. But the question is, like here's what Keith's saying over here. CoinView Cap says, okay, here's how it works. We've talked to Binance. Binance has strict rules. You can't say anything until they post first. It's a strict rule on exchanges. Now, the question at that point becomes, do they want to no longer make the money that they wanted to make with this token, or do they want to make that money? And if they do, then they're going to have to look the other way for this, because normally you don't have this error. So it's a decision that they're going to have to make. And I'm sure they've already made the decision behind closed doors, behind everything. I'm sure that everything, if there's anything to work out, has already been worked out. So I think that means that what we're getting, and what we will get in very short order, is we're going to get BKeX, and then we're going to get an announcement that says that they're going to be on Binance.us as well. And let's remember something here, by the way. Binance is the big dog. Binance USA is a smaller fish, but it's still Binance. So you're still foot in the door. So it's very possible that this happened, and it's not a good look to anybody, to have Pongo. It's very possible that this is just a misunderstanding and it's just blown out of proportion. So we're going to see how it plays out. I'm going to be pretty interested. But here's the other part. Let's go point at Saitama and let's see where Saitama is. They should be over 1,200 by now. Nope, they're at 1101. So yeah, well, guys, here is where it all just started sinking for Saitama. By the way, if you guys want to take a quick look here, this is where it all sank. And this is where Saitama or Terra had its big run. It was at the same time. So you see the money was coming out of Saitama and going into this. It was coming out of different places. But then you see this massive cascade to this downside. And then you see that on Saitama, every time somebody tried to pump it in, it just will not go higher. Like they made it to 1167. Like they can't even break 1,200 anymore. Like that's how much bear pressure there is on this token to get through. They can't even get to 1,200 anymore. It's been what now? It's been since March 17. So it's been almost a week since Saitama has got a sniff of 1,200. So I think they're going to need a lot more time because when they get, I mean, every level that they get to is just going to be more resistance, more resistance, more resistance. And I even saw that there was a sell down on Volt at the same time that this was happening. I think we all kind of had this big idea right here. We all had this big idea that we were going to make a big bag off of it. And then you start to see money all over the place, just start to shuffle around. And if you look at any token with a decent amount, you can see that they were all just moving their money every which way just to see if they could get in on this big ride. And I hope everybody took your profit. I hope you didn't get wrecked. I don't think anybody would be getting wrecked because there's no reason to get wrecked on a 56. Like this is a new token that's at 5,600 right now. I mean, everybody should basically be up on it. I mean, even like I bought in again, by the way, at like 56 or 54, something like that. But full disclosure, I had 3.6 trillion when I started today. And now I have, and it's worth more than it was. Now I have over 6 trillion. So I was able to make my play, make my move, and came out really good. Like I came out in a really good position. What's going on, Scott? Come on in here, man. I sent you the links out there. But this has been kind of crazy. It's going to be crazy. We're going to see over the next couple of days how this plays out. Should play out probably to Terrarium's benefit. It's very possible that this thing will start to be a problem. So, I mean, I'm not sure. So let me just leave it at that, and let me get a couple of these guys in here. All right, Keith, I just sent it over to you. All right. Milton is an idiot. Kick him off the dev team. I think everybody's going to get a second chance on this one. I don't think that there's a reason for a third chance, but I think that you definitely want to give Milton a second chance because you trusted him and you believed in him for a reason. This is a really big screw up, but I'm not sure how this plays out as a screw up. What's going on, man? All right, guys, we got CoinView Cap on here right now. Let's say Russ hadn't fudded today. Would it have changed the fact? What's going on, man? Let's say Russ hadn't fudded today. Would it have changed the fact that Terrarium is not being listed on Binance.us? So we don't know that they're not being listed on Binance.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't think Russ has anything to do with it. I mean, let's face it. Russ is not exactly somebody who moves and shakes anything. The only thing that Russ ever does right now is drop the price of his own token. So I don't think that he has the stroke and the sway that we would always hope that he has. At some point, I think that he regains it because he is running a token that still has a $600 million market cap. It's not like, even at its worst, that Saitama is some kind of garbage product or no good product. It's still a $600 million project. It's just going to take a long time for them to rebuild some of that trust. So Russ doesn't have anything to do with it. He's and you know what? I think it was a classless move by him to make that comment, and I made it known that I disagreed with him. I even posted it like he doesn't know anything is or is not true at this point. We're all just guessing. But he's decided that he's going to weigh in on what he really doesn't know is or isn't true. So I think that's probably a low class maneuver. And if you remember, the people from Terrarium, they haven't even made a comment yet. And the reason they haven't made a comment is because they're still under an NDA. And if you're under an NDA, that means you got something working. So not really worried about Russ. And Sammy the Bull over here says Russ is a joke, talking shit about other coins when his own is tanking. Clown move. It is a low class move, but Russ is who he is, and I think that in his mind, he probably feels like he's just letting people know for the future that this is the case. Like, you know, be careful with what you do. I don't think that he meant anything malicious by it, but I know that the people that follow him absolutely meant something malicious by jumping on it and starting to push it as a narrative. So that's my opinion. I always give Russ the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that he's just a guy who wants things done. And all right, man. Good night, Scott. I think that Russ is a good guy. And I think that he's just trying to get something done. He's trying to push, always thinks that it's going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, then he's got egg on his face. But you know what? He's standing there in front of everybody, and he's taking that heat from every single person, including me, when these things don't get done. So what's going on, Keith?
Hey, how you doing?
Just going through this whole thing, man.
Yeah. So that's the problem with a lot of people in understanding how these changes work. So I'm right now dealing. Well, I don't want to say right now. I can't give any hints. I got my lawyer. See, my lawyer's looking at everything. See, that's the thing. Does anybody realize? Always have a lawyer look at this stuff. And in the fine print, I see it right on the bottom. It says it right there that they can anytime they can like leave the contract. They can throw it away and walk away.
Yes.
They two of them already said that I cannot say anything until that they make the release, until they sign, and until at the end that they post first. I think Terra's fine. No offense. They're going to be fine. Somebody made a mistake and it happens, They just want to make sure you didn't do it like,
they got to make a decision on whether they want to do something about it or not. And I don't think they want to do something about it. Otherwise they would have. So I think we're in a good position. I think we're in a good place. I think we're going to find out a lot tomorrow about it. And I think that, we'll get an update when it's released.
Right. It's funny. So I've been looking at, and I don't respond really to posts on Twitter, but I've noticed all my posts have Saitama people saying that I'm a rug. So I'm about to have my.
All right, guys, done. I got a big treat for you.
Yeah.
Motherfucking funny in this biatch.
What's up, bitch? I'm streaming from my
going on, man?
fucking pillow, so it looks like one of those weird calls. Hey, babe, how you doing? What's up?
God damn it.
I'm resting my knee right now. Just in bed right now, just chilling. Just wanted to pop in and say what's up, man.
What's going on, man? Hey, look, I'm hiding again from Classy. Hey, man, me and Classy worked it out. We're besties again. So.
Oh yeah, dude. I think people don't understand that we're all kind of friends. We're just fucking. It's business, man. It's business. We're all just fucking off.
So hey, man, here's my idea. My idea is that they probably that tomorrow they're probably going to announce something with Binance.us because they're under an NDA, and they wouldn't be under an NDA and not able to talk about anything unless there was some kind of truth to whatever's happening right now.
Yeah, so I think that if it was if someone got phished or like that information wasn't true, they would have had to put out some sort of. It wouldn't have been against an NDA to come out and just say, hey, we got scammed or this is false. Like, not acknowledging it at all is kind of crazy if it's untrue. If we find out tomorrow that for some reason this Binance thing is not true, then it's like, well, why didn't you tell people? But it leads me to believe that it is true because they haven't discussed it further, which they might get in trouble for preemptively announcing that. I think they're supposed to wait for Binance to do that.
I think that they probably got in trouble right away, and they had to call somebody at Binance like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?" And they're like, "You know what? Y'all need to come to Shanghai because we're about to give you like 100 lashes, you bitch ass motherfuckers." You know what I mean? Like they were, and then they made them wait for a little
totally
while,
agree.
and then they just had to sit there quietly, like, "Man, did we fuck this up? Milton, your ass is dead." You know what I mean? Like they were going crazy, and then they found out that everything's probably fine, and now they just have to be quiet. And then I think there was a post in their Twitter on that same thread from Binance USA .help or whatever it was that said this was not from us. So I think that was because they had to do that because somebody's complaining or something like that, and somebody from Saitama is bitching to Binance.us because Terra might have what Saitama wants, and they're going crazy. So then they had to post something on it because they can't do anything because they're under an NDA as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you really think about it, like there was another place that they made an article, like a pretty damning article for Terareum, calling them like they're saying like scamming is still like prevalent in cryptocurrency, which is a crazy article. This Twitter has like 20,000 followers, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but let me tell you, if they are on
crazy.
Binance.us and that gets announced tomorrow, they're going to put a lot of people in the coffin because look, the people are upset that I'm not giving them shit like Saitama did. But you guys have to understand, at one point, Saitama announced that they were going to be listed on KuCoin before KuCoin said anything, and it turns out Saitama never got listed on KuCoin. And back then, I was just happy for Saitama, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt. But due to recent events, over the last few months, I can't give Saitama any more chances because they've been lying along the way. They haven't been delivering right now. If this is, this is Terrarium's like first kind of hiccup. If it's true, if it comes out that they lied or it's scammed, I'm gonna come at them. But right now, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. What can I say?
Yep. Hey, and guys, just so you know, this might be Molly Percocet working. So
I got this.
He might say some shit that he doesn't mean. So if we have like an "I'm sorry" thing tomorrow, that's why.
Congratulations, CoinViewCat, for selling out there.
Thank you. That's the first time we were talking to Rodney.
Crazy?
Wow. Some people are like, "Am I real?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, I'm here. I'm alive. Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for the donations and stream, bro.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I didn't get on the pre-sale just because, dude, I'm in so many other things.
I understand it. It was so crazy. And I get it. Some people are always concerned. I'm getting now. I'm a Saitama holder. I've never talked about Saitama. Somehow I'm getting now every one of the posters saying that's a rug. Well, that's fine. And I'm not real. Well, I've already done a KYC. I'm doing a CertiK audit. I'm like, well, what else would you like me to do? Show my whole life history to you. I understand. Actually, I don't understand, but that's what it is, and that's why I'm very careful. I'm talking to exchanges right now. I have my lawyers looking at it. I think it's another thing to always go. I'm paying them to see this stuff, and I found some different flaws in there, meaning that I can't speak on who I'm talking to, or I can't release any information saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm just going to bring a name, KuCoin. They're very strict. If anybody's seen their contract, and you say, hey guys, I'm going to be on KuCoin, and all of a sudden they're like, I don't know what they say, but I need to see. I did get an email from Binance. I need to find out what that Binance is. I don't know if it's listings. I need to find out because it's in my folder.
Okay, so you got an email from them too.
Yeah. So, the problem is Binance. It's too high. You have that big volume, certain amount of holders, so it's different. People don't realize it's different from Binance US, which is lower.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, it's ranked 11. Right. Binance is ranked 1.
Correct.
Hey, was any of it misspelled?
Yeah, I don't. I like Terra. I'm a huge fan of Terra. I talked to Dr. P through the DMs and Dr. R, and they're really nice people. I think that's a problem. Bring communities together. I always tell people that. And I just did an AMA yesterday with Shinja, and it was like, oh my God, this is great having communities together. I tell them, hey, come to Telegram, talk about, the coins today. One guy said he invested in one of these tokens. I was like, hey man, you know what you invested in? No, I just followed everybody. So wait a minute, you followed everybody to invest in a token, but you have no idea what you invested. I just followed the crowd. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So no one has no clue of what anybody's investing in right now. I mean,
Right.
but that's why I'm hoping that, I change. That's why I'm doing the audits. I did the doxing. I've actually talked to Cliff on the phone and hope to see a change. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm prepared. I plan this. So people didn't realize I planned this months in advance, knowing that April's coming. I have a plan, and people are like, man, what's your plan? Well, if I tell you, then A, I would give out a lot of information, and B, I want to make sure that everything is going to be signed on the dotted line. Then I go ahead and announce once they tell me I can announce.
Exactly. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, the apps, people realize, well, oh man, you didn't tell me that. So we have a 1.3 version that came out. Well, why don't you tell me? Because if I already told you and it didn't come out, then you guys would have got mad and everybody would have spread bad information or false, information. And that's the problem. So when I give dates, unless it's a launch, I really want to give dates out to any kind of updates on the apps or any kind of, information on the website. Hey, I'm going to change this, change that, or developers going to change something. I'll always surprise somebody. And I think people like that better than, well, I'm sorry, guys. I won't release until 2 months, but I told you it was going to be 2 days. That's a problem. And then people are going to what? Sell. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I just think that some stuff need to change for anybody. This is not for any specific token out there or coin. I mean, eventually, guys, I'm telling you right now, what's happening. If nobody realizes, these exchanges, they're asking for all your information. I got one that wants my social security card. Now it's crazy. And it's a big exchange. It's just to get you verified. So guys, things are changing now to where they know everything about you. So if you rug, I mean, I don't want to say that on your channel, but I mean, eventually I'm sure they're gonna find out who you are. And me, I would never do that. That's literally, I don't even like you talking about rug pulls with me, but just want to see put out a product out there. So
right on.
Yeah,
So
sure.
CV Seal filled its 1,500 ETH pre-sale objective on Pulo in 26 hours, which was impressive. What's your take on CoinViewCap? CoinViewCap, Keith is on here right now. CoinViewCap is a bad motherfucker if it does everything that it's meant to do. And what it's meant to do is change and include the DeFi space in ways that it is not being included right now by Binance and anybody else who's out there trying to control the narrative about what the best tokens or coins are. Hex is one of those big tokens. It's not listed anywhere. Even Saitama it deserves to have a listing somewhere that's better. So if this thing happens the way he's talking about and everything comes together and it ends up being the way that we all want it to be, then he's got a built-in group of a lot of people that are going to be following him and be faithful to him for a long period of time. Like, all we need to do is hold this token, let it increase in value, let him get some exposure, give him the resources in which to do what he needs to do to make this a big thing. And if it becomes a big thing, then guess what? We're all better for it because we're taking Binance down a peg. And that might sound like a huge thing. It might just be a little thing, but it is taking a shot at one of these big guys and
you mean CoinMarketCap, right?
Yeah.
You mean CoinMarketCap, right?
CoinMarketCap, yeah.
And I want to make that note on CoinMarketCap. What they're doing is awesome. Guys, they're the big dogs. They do 13 million visitors a day. To beat them, good luck. But you could do something better. It's not like, hey, we're going to take down CMC. Good luck with that one. Okay. Has anybody seen their building? Because they're a pretty big company. But think about it. CoinGecko, you got CoinMarketCap, you got Live Coin Watch, you got all these things that are doing something different. What's different about us? So ours update the same as CMC, meaning they update live. CoinGecko, what's the problem? You got to continually refresh the page. Refresh. Kind of gets annoying. So there you go. Something, a little different than, CoinGecko. So just changing up, we want to see, we all know Saitama, ranked 4th. Who even knows? I don't know what it was ranked. Technically they should have been ranked, in the top,
70, something like
that. Really? On CMC? Wow. That's...
Yeah, it should have been.
And there's all different types. Guys, I talked to CoinMarketCap and I just asked them, hey, I just wondered about getting this. They explained to me about the 201. There's really no set narrative. There's no set thing, but we want a big exchange in there. and they had a couple of things in their emails. So I was like, oh, interesting. So it's not just one thing. It's really interesting. And when you call from the blockchain, remember, it's not the data. So that is not what's calling up data to what you see in CMC. They're spacing it out, spreading it out, and then their software is doing their thing, which is putting their rankings on there, which is obviously market cap. And then they choose who, not choose, but whoever goes below 200, that's where they're starting getting ranked. And again, I didn't even know what Hex was. I met Hex. I was like, hey man, and I was like, he asked me, why didn't you know that, about Hex? And I was like, hey, because you weren't on the front page of CMC. And they're like, darn. I mean, it was the truth. So.
Well, so there we go. I think Rodney's passing out now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's gone. There he is.
Oh,
I said,
My bad.
shit! I think Rodney just passed out.
I pressed done, but no, you're right. Yeah, Hex was supposed to be top 10 for quite a while. Actually, I do have to bounce right now, guys.
top 11.
But yeah, they were supposed to be there. They were at like a $36 billion market cap, or like even more when at their all-time high, like really close to like 4 or 5 billion. It was absolutely, like almost 40 billion. It's absolutely insane. So
I think it's 21 billion and 63 diluted. Yeah.
Now, now, but before, like a little short while ago, they were like at 40 billion. It was crazy, crazy. All right, well, hey man, good luck. Congratulations on selling out your pre-sale bleeds. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna boogie on out of here.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
all
man.
right,
I hope your knee gets better.
Thank you.
Hey, man, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, hey, if this video hasn't got demonetized yet, fuck shit, damn cock. All right, later.
All right, man. Good night. All right, so there you have it.
He's awesome, man. He's great,
and he's high. So that's all I can say, man. That's all I can say. But we got a big day, man. Like I think tomorrow, and dude, leading up to your launch is going to be tremendous because like you've got so many people in your corner right now. If everything,
let me ask
if everything you do goes the right way, then this is going to be an amazing run. And I think Zach probably said he probably said it today the best. I think when you were in there, he was like, I'm not sure that it's going to run. Like I'm not sure that there's going to be a whole bunch of money. But I think when we're talking, like I was doing the math, and if you sold 1,500 Ethereum at 3,000 each, then that comes up to like what 4.5 million. If you wrap it with Ethereum, that's about a 9 million. What's going to be your launch market cap? 9 million.
I was going to find out. That's what I was going to do tonight and tomorrow.
So if that's like 9 or 10 million, like this is probably like you're probably sitting on a project that's at least 50 to $100 million market cap easily.
Yeah, which would be Terra was what was Terra? 150, 200?
Yeah, so Terra was launched with Terra's launch market cap was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 50 million. They said it was going to be like 5 million, but it ended up being like 50 million when it launched.
Okay. I'm finding out how many holders are in here right now. Pulo is going through them, and oh my god, he's telling me right now. Let's see what he says. Yeah, it's pretty cool because that's amazing. I don't know what we're gonna find out. I don't know. So remember, that's why I did something different, guys. I did 5 ETH instead of 10 ETH. This could be a lot when this opens up. It could be a little bit better. No total. I'm telling you, no total. I mean, how many
got banished to the shadow realm?
I was trying to see 3,000.
Yeah, man, I don't think Terra's irrelevant. But yeah, I mean, they got their. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll tell you this. I'm going to say the same thing that I said with Saitama way back when. Saitama had a long time of fucking up and saying that they were listing on KuCoin, and they did do that. Like I remember what Rodney was talking about. Right. They did lie and say they were listed on KuCoin, and they were not. So I do know that there's a long way to go before Terra reaches Saitama level. But I also know that we're talking about 8,000 or 9,000 investors versus I mean, how many investors does Saitama have now? 100,000, maybe
Right.
120,000. I mean, I know they have 340 or whatever, but I mean, let's face it. Like, these are not active investors. They don't have that many. A lot of those are just dust wallets. But they still have a giant amount of people. And here's the crazy part: with that many people, we were sitting on Zach's chat today watching the markets churn and watching Terra almost catch Saitama for market value. That is
Yeah,
insane to see
it
that
is.
8,000 holders. Like, you have to at least take a moment and kick back for a moment and just kind of reflect on the fact that 8,000, 9,000 holders carry as much value as 347,000 Saitama. Like, what
Yes,
does
sir.
that say about the level of faith that people have in your project at this point? That's what Saitama is working against right now in order to get back in that good
Correct.
side.
Correct. Yeah. It's it is. Oh, I was posting a link. Everybody wants to go to your channel right now. Sorry about that.
I lost my tail on Saitama because I ended up hodling in vain for months. I put in 4 ETH during the CBC pre-sale, so I'm counting on you to deliver. Please just make sure your dev team is solid. There you go, man. No
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah. Well, people, I already have. Oh, geez, I got. Oh, and that's the thing. I already have my plan, my list. That's why I didn't change the date. April 1st. I get it. April Fools. Oh well. Hey, it's still a working day. There you go.
Yeah.
So everybody can think of it that way. Hey, maybe it could be some excitement on April 1st. But why I did it in April? Really simple, guys. The market. Look at it. January, February, March. Just up. March is starting to come up a little bit, isn't it? Starting to go up. 3,000 ETH. Here we go. And then April 1st hits. It's all planned. You can put it together. I'm not saying it's going to go 100%, but if you at least get to go 80% right, that's good.
Yep.
That's good. You get a floor. You get all the small investors that hold the floor, and the big investors. They're going to go crazy. I mean, they could hold too. As long as you have that floor there, and then it starts going up the price steady. Don't ever go too high and then go down. Think about it. Let's say you get listed on KuCoin, correct?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we're gonna go back down to Bitmart or L Bank, something like that. Well, wait a minute, we're going backwards. Why would we go back down to tier 2? This is the problem. You start slowly and go up. We're not going to get into Binance. We don't. First of all, Binance is if you want Binance, you want Binance. And still Binance USA still has traffic though. I believe it has I don't know, was it 100 million? I forgot what it was per day. I forgot looking at them. I was talking to them anyway because I thought it was a good idea to get on Binance also, but you want to go slowly. And another thing, these exchanges, they will force you, well, not force you, but they can, if you don't know what you're doing, to go every week. That is absolutely not what you want to do, because you're going to have this. You're going to have that pump and dump, pump and dump, pump dump. You want a steady stream of volume. So you get, every couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks. There you go. Exchange. See what I'm saying? Not do 4 exchanges in 1 month. So, or 3, however many, people do. You have to have a plan, and let's see if it works. That's all you can do. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna go through some of these tokens right now, though, and we're gonna look through and check some numbers and shit out and see how
I'm trying to find
everybody
out from
is.
him. He says there's so many. So Pulo is saying that there's so many investors that count. I'm like, come on. I see him. So I see him on the screen. They're looking. I can see the screen what they're doing on there, and they're just scrolling through the stuff. They're making sure everything's. So they said everything looks like everybody. Looks like everyone here. A couple of last ones are getting approved. So he's proven everything. Sometimes you have to manually approve. This is great, guys. This is exactly why I use Pulo. It wasn't cheap, but this is why I didn't want to use Pink Sale.
Yeah.
Whoever's out there wants to use Pink Sale, everyone's got to claim their tokens. And guys, it could be ugly. It could be real ugly. This is one click of a button, and everyone gets their tokens at the same time. So,
kick ass.
Yep, you want it.
All right, I'm gonna put sheep down for a couple days here.
Yeah, you want to make it easy. Don't make things hard, because you have so many things to do, and then you forget to write it down, and you're sitting there like, oh, you want to make sure that you're going forward. I always explain that every time I talk to on an AMA. I got behind on the emails. I was like, I got to sit here and do the emails. So
Right on. Hey man, I was looking as a matter of fact, as we were kind of going through Hex for, for the market cap that it has, that
right.
daily volume is so light. And I was looking at it and I was thinking,
Mm.
like, man, like, not that, and matter of fact, for anybody, and there's a little pullback, but for anybody who is looking at Hex, like Hex is basically a staking mechanism. And
Yes, big one.
if you're not in Hex, then you're probably making a pretty big mistake, because Hex is just about money. It's not about anything else but just money. So
Right.
all these guys do is stake their Hex, and they don't sell it. Like they're just staking it for a period of time, and they're
Mhm.
taking it back out, and like it's gonna be like if you're not in Hex, and I don't know where you are in your stable coins. Like I
Right.
don't know where you are, your finances, if you're just like a shit coin spitter or what it is that you
Mhm.
do
Mhm.
with your money. But if you have the ability to have a stable or at least relatively stable token, Hex is the
Mm.
play. Like that's the one
Right.
that's going to allow you to stake. Like that's going to give you it's long term, but it's going to give you wealth. It's going to create for you. It's going to make you better
Right.
for it. Like I would take profits. When you take profits, throw a little of your profits into Hex every single time, and then stake your Hex, and then just keep it going and keep it going and keep it going. Like
Correct.
I mean, that I think is the absolute play for people to be making right now. And that's
Did
not
did somebody
financial advice, but if you remember, I'm always right about it.
correct? Did somebody say
Anyway,
somebody rug pulled again? Or is that from
yeah, it's
yesterday?
currency. Yeah, currency. So
Oh,
currency
jeez.
didn't. I don't think
This is
they
the problem,
actually.
man. This is exactly why this has got to stop, because exactly. You know.
Well, I'm not going to
Uh,
defend them, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, uh, I think
oh,
what
wasn't a rug
they
pull? Okay.
did, they
Oh.
launched, and I think that they thought that they had something a little more special than what they did.
Mhm.
So as soon as they got to the spot where like some FUD really started happening, and now they had a
Okay.
lot of big wallets. I'm not going to lie, they had a lot of
Okay.
big wallets, but I'm not here to judge what their opinion is or what they were thinking
Yeah.
business wise. They could
Guys.
have, but they were sitting there holding on to it. And then people just started shitting on them in chat and just going crazy and stuff like that. So they just said, all right, guys, that's it. We're done with it. And they just
You
started selling off.
right. So you now you understand why I won't have
Oh,
any.
absolutely.
I
I
will not have
understand.
any addresses. There'll be no tokens that I'll be buying. I might set some aside for a reason, to maybe do some buybacks. For all the holders.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be no. You can look all day. There's gonna be nothing from me, because this is exactly why I'm not doing it. Why do I need it when I have a marketing wallet? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Well,
mean that's
cryptologist, we don't know the market cap. We were just talking about that a few minutes ago. He's working on those details right now. I'm sure as soon as we get the information, we'll get it out
yeah,
to you.
exactly. I want to be honest. Yeah, somebody said that we're gonna have 1 billion market cap. I mean, dude, okay. I mean, 1 billion, really?
Dude, if you have a 1 billion market
Yeah,
cap on
fuck.
launch, I want you to know I'm selling my entire bag.
Yeah, exactly,
'Cause
exactly.
that's a
But see, that's the
level of
thing,
profit.
right? And you have to understand that yes, a lot of people like to buy into their token or coin, but
Yeah.
here's the problem that happens. Then when this dump happens, if anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, then people are gonna be like, okay, so that guy came in first, but wait a minute, but that guy's attached to that person, and that person, this is all goes down the line, and then you have 10 people selling off, and they're like, oh, well, how did they all sell at the same time?
Yeah.
That's exactly why I'm not doing it. And watch this. We're not gonna have this problem. Well, especially for me. Anybody has to be concerned. That's why I said I don't lie. And I didn't lie. I told the truth. And that's the thing. They'll keep it from this happening. I get it. There's gonna be sales. Listen, guys, it's gonna happen, but it's gonna keep me well away from not blaming me for it. I'll try to do what I can, do some buybacks or make sure. But it's gonna be my own, money. So it goes in there, and that's why. So that's why I'm really for the holders in the community. And I think eventually this is going to all change, guys, to where whether CMC does a full scan. Now that's what I'm hearing. CMC is going to do a full scan on their platform to get rid of all the tokens that have no volume in them. So, which is probably like 5,000.
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
Make sure we know where that volume's coming from. Like that's the biggest concern.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, make sure that the volume is being accurately done, because there's some that I've seen that show like zero volume, and you know that there's actually trading going on because you can see
Yeah,
on
that is
Uniswap.
right. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's just basically a an error
Yeah,
data issue. Well, it couldn't even be an error if they're reporting some of it. It's just the beginning ones. It happens a lot because it's not it's not fresh data coming in. It's just it's so a lot of these guys, a lot of these exchanges, not exchanges, but CoinGecko, they scrape. So they're doing. They're scraping the blockchain to get all this information.
yeah. Well,
We
let me go over these tokens real quick. Let's
yeah.
have a quick Phoenix V2 trading at 33.64 for anybody who's in it. It's a little bit sideways, guys. It's a long term play. If you're not in it, yeah, you should know that I'm in it. I'm invested. I think that this is kind of a so what they're doing right now is they're developing a gaming platform. You're gonna be able to bet your crypto against somebody else. There's probably going to be a limit on it. I don't think you're going to do all of it, but you'll be able to bet your crypto against somebody else. They're working on the games right now. Fid, who is the developer, if you go to their YouTube, which is available through their Telegram and in their Twitter, then you can watch him as he does programming and plays and tests all of the games. Hex, guys, I just said what I needed to say about Hex. Hex is probably your best play. It's your most solid play that you could possibly make, because what it is like, this is your store of value. When we talk about Bitcoin, things like that, like that's what they're always talking about. Well, Hex is just like that. It's a store of value that allows you to grow without having to do anything. All you have to do is take some of your stable money, take some of your profits on the way up, keep staking it into Hex, and then stake it for as long as you want. Read up on it before you do it, and make sure that you're aware of what it is that you're doing, obviously. But stake your Hex and just let it sit and let it work for you. And that's all you have to do. It's just that simple. And when people come out and they're talking about Hex, they're talking about Pulse Chain, they're talking about PulseX, when they're coming out and they're talking about this, it's because they're passionate, because they see this vision, and the vision comes from Richard Hart. And if you don't know who Richard Hart is, then you need to do yourself a favor and go spend 20 minutes watching some Richard Hart videos. Of course, none of the Richard Hart videos are 20 minutes long, so his videos are very long. But take the time, go listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's a very smart, very sharp guy, and I think that you're going to agree that this is a big time play. Saitama is doing what Saitama do right now. The Bears are just absolutely winning. They are devastating this product nonstop. And it doesn't really matter whether there's good news or bad news with Saitama. It's so bad it won't even load, I guess, right now. 1098 is where it's trading. And this is while people are freeing up their money in other tokens, as you've seen up and down the line. The market's down on my left over here. You can see everything I'm covering is bleeding red. And even when it's bleeding red and there's an opportunity for investors to pick back into Saitama, they're not doing it. So, take that for what you will. Shiba Doge. So just so you guys know that Shiba Doge is a sponsor of me, and I am going to be doing shows on their platform. I will be doing a show on Monday. Classy Crypto, I believe, will be doing a show for them on Wednesdays, and Adam Shelton will be doing a show for them on Fridays. We'll be covering a variety of topics very specific to Shiba Doge. They're going to be very quick. It would be awesome if you guys would check it out. I think Shiba Doge has a really, really sharp team behind them. So if you take a few moments and you kind of go through them and you look and you take the time, you're going to really like what you see in Shiba Doge. But anyway, it's trading. It's down like everybody else, a couple percentage points, 33.86. Pongo, you guys know my love for Pongo. I am crazy about Pongo because I get that feeling that it has this, that it has a run in it. And guys, if you've never just said, you know what, YOLO, I'm going to take a shot on something, look at the pumps that this thing has had so far. And I want you to just kind of just do the math here. This started off, it had a nice little pump. It dumped down to about 1,300, and then it ran up to 1,200. So you would have made an 8 or a 9x right there, pulled out a little bit of profit or whatever it is that you do. Then it dropped down in the 7s. Then it ran back up, then you got a 2x. Then it dropped all the way back down to a 31, which is where I got in, by the way. I got in at this 34. Yeah, mine was like 34 down here. So I'm very happy with my position. But then it ran all the way up to 16 again. Then it ran all the way back down in the 3s again. Now it ran all the way up here to the 13s again. Now it's doing the same thing, and it's creating at least the same floor or a slightly higher floor every single time, and the holder count continues to go up. At some point, this thing is just going to start to go crazy because a few people are going to be like, you know what, let's just get in here and see what happens, and people are just going to start throwing ETH at it, and there's a few catalysts that are coming along the way that are not ready to be announced, but when they do, it's going to go crazy. So if you're in, you're going to be feeling really great, and if you're not, then you're going to have missed out. Hirokagi, if you're not following it, it's trading at 70.21. It's down a little bit, but this is one of those very quiet, under the radar sort of things. 381 holders, 561,000 market cap. This is a very low micro cap sort of play. They're not doing a lot of marketing. This is a grassroots sort of campaign. They don't want people who want to pump this token. What they want is they want long-term investors who want to be with them way down the line. So you're not going to see them appearing in all kinds of different places. You'll see me talking about them because I think Kenza is fabulous. I think the guys on her team are great. And they got a vision, and the vision is they want to become the stamp of approval like TARP is. They want to become a stamp of approval for people so that you know what a good crypto is and what a good crypto is not. They're not the arbiters of it. They're just the ones that they would like to make the rules and say, this is what we want to do to prevent rug pulls, because all these people have been rug pulled multiple times, which is what got them together in the beginning. And they want to try and do what they can to make this a better place so that those kind of rug pulls don't happen. Volt continues to see some bleeding. And guys, I'm going to say this. You can see right here, this is, we're still way, way, way up. Just so you guys understand, like the floor here is right around that 34, 35 line. So we're right at that floor right now. In this bleeding sort of market, down 16% on the day. You'll see that the purchase, the move to this downside came when Terareum was having their big run. That's when it all started. And then that caused a little bit more bleeding, and that got us to right where we are right now. You guys know that I am a big mark for Volt, and I am not allowed, nobody's allowed to say anything right now. But if you knew what was going on with Volt right now, you would go absolutely out of your mind. Things that Voltoshi has been explaining that are coming down the pipeline are going to be earth-shattering, life-changing, and it's going to be crazy. Like, he's joking about it on Twitter right now, that his goal is to bash out 9 zeros on this, like, very quickly, to see how fast he can actually do it. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to remember that everything that Voltoshi has said so far has come true. So I'm not sure what the plan is, but I know that he has a plan and that he wants to make something really crazy happen with Volt. So if you're in, you're in. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. Terra. So if you haven't been in here and you're just getting in here and you know what is going on with Terra, Terra is at 56.82. There was an announcement of Binance that was probably premature. We don't know for sure if it's real or not. The developers are under an NDA and they can't make a statement until tomorrow at 11:30. So they're going to be making a statement then when it happens. So we'll see what happens right there. For that, right? Otherwise, right now, it's just going to trade a little bit sideways, probably down for the evening. To be fair, guys, they got listed on BKeX just a little while ago. It's going to be starting to trade soon. So this price will probably go up just a little bit just based on that. But depending on what happens tomorrow, this thing might shoot back through the roof. This right here, this might be small potatoes compared to what's coming up. But we're going to have to wait to see. We're going to have to see what they say, and then we'll know a little bit more. Cytanobi, if you're in on Cytanobi, then they're at 46.99. A lot of the problem going on with Cytanobi right now is because there is a lot of poor sentiment going on with both Shinja and with Saitama. They're both struggling. So that means that the staking mechanism, which, by the way, if any of you are interested, Cytanobi is a great project, because what you can do is you can buy your Cytanobi, then you can stake your Cytanobi. And if you go over to the dashboard for Cytanobi, How is this not private now? It's down again. God damn it. This thing is down once a day for maintenance and stuff like that as Jerry does these upgrades. In 5 minutes, it'll be back up. And anyway, what you can do is you can stake your Cytonobi. And once you've staked it, then you can earn Shinja and you can earn Saitama. That's the whole purpose of Cytonobi. So again, when they're down, it's going to be down. So the next one is DCNS. This is DCN Studios. These are the guys that we've been talking about. This is a new launch. This is a new startup. This is kind of directed towards creating a cryptocurrency news network. So if you're interested in having news and cryptocurrency news all day long, then maybe write to these guys and tell them that you want Bleaves on your TV 24 hours a day, which would be completely awesome. Hopefully they'd pay me for 24 hours a day, but who knows? It's a good idea. This is Donovan Mitchell. If you don't know who Donovan Mitchell is, he's also the guy that started Saja, and he's a really great guy. And there's a lot of people that are involved. We got to see some background detail on it 2 days ago on the Sandstorm. If you didn't see it, go check it out. There's conversation right now between me and Brad about going out there. They'll possibly bring us out. And we're going to start talking to them about doing some cryptocurrency content and, maybe even doing a show. Like it's early stages. We'll see what happens, but it's a great, great opportunity. So I don't know how it plays out, but we will see how it plays out. Now, let's see if that little Mandalorian that we all love so much is, look at this. Guys, Bobatama found its floor down here, and now Bobatama is on its way and getting sent right now. So if you want to know where the money in the market just disappeared to, it disappeared to Bobatama. Go check your wallet. That is so kick-ass. And listen, guys, Bobatama was struggling right now to find its floor. King's Broadcast. Hey, what's going on, man?
What's it? I'm here.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Living that dream.
Yeah, living the DeFi dream, huh? 24/7, 365, no days off.
Never take time off.
You take time off, that's money lost.
Absolutely. So Bobatama is up big time on the day. So guys, if you didn't make that play, I think you're missing out because Bobatama it always seems like it's just doing something else and moving up and moving up. So learn to play this chart, by the way. I think this is this really is kind of their first pump. Like, this is their first real pump, I think. And, most of these good projects, they usually get a couple of them. So this might be the start of the next one. So watch it, pay attention to it. And we'll see what we'll see. So what's going on, man?
Not a lot. I've been jumping in and out of people's channels all night. So
glad to have you in here, man.
Yeah, I want to, I'm all about networking and getting to know great individuals in the space. And, I'm like a sponge. I listen to a lot of individuals and obtain as much information as I can.
Yeah, we're trying to cover everything right now. I'm going up and down a list, trying to give a little bit of something to every single one of these tokens right now.
It's funny that you brought up what is it, Shibnobi?
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with Jeremy, and I said, that's the issue you're going to have, is because you tied your project to two different projects, and when they're going to go down, I said, what's going to happen to your project is going to go down. There's benefits to it, but there's also, we see what's happening. It's just it's the natural effect of things, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think it does anybody any service. By the same token, we're also looking at that short-sighted. So if it's down today, and if it's down today and it's still trading at like 49%, then I'm still accumulating the shit out of Saitama tokens and Shibnobi tokens for that moment in the future when it starts to make that move up. You know what I mean? If I can just like Hex, if I could just set this thing to the side, not have to worry about it for a while, and just continue to reap the benefits of what it's giving me, I do have some faith that Cliff will get his shit together. I do have some faith that Saitama will get their shit together. It's just going to take a long time. Cliff, the time frame for Cliff is getting to be longer and longer and longer because he's not been having that moment lately, and Saitama hasn't been having that moment for a real long time. So, you know,
That's
but
why
they're going to have their moments again, and I mean, it's easy money.
And I preach it all the time. What it takes to have success in this space is patience.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, these are, like I tell people, I'm starting to steer away from the word projects. Now, there still is a lot of projects in this space, but I'm very interested in the ones that have that business approach, that business mindset, because I believe that moving into the future, those ones that are more business, like more business mindset going that direction are going to be long-term and have the success. And what people need to realize is that businesses take time to build out.
Yeah. It does take some time. I was on, by the way, earlier today with Helsing. They did an AMA with me, and they're a grassroots sort of token, and they're a horror themed video game. And the video game is in an alpha. It's going to be released pretty soon, and it seems like just a really good project. But yeah, they have something ready to go, and they have a use case, and like you're starting to see more of those crop up. Shiba, which is one of my sponsors, right down below you, they had a game that came out like right away. Like that's kind of crazy. Like when you start think about it, like some of these things are really creating use cases. Coin View Cap, Keith's already got, like, the website's already up and operating. It's already going on, and he's not even launched yet. Doesn't launch until April 1st. Are you in the pre-sale, by the way?
I missed out. I did miss. I didn't. I've been busy in the background. Full time. I'm a consultant for several projects in the space. I'm not gonna obviously name them. Some are large, some are not large.
Right.
But it's been taking up so much of my time, and then that I haven't even been able to be an investor lately.
Man, I tell you, somebody today we were talking about that last Thursday. We do that Thirsty Thursday.
Yep.
And last Thursday, oh my God, it was a nightmare because all of a sudden they were talking about like how many coins are you invested in, and people are like, oh, like 4, like 5, like 6, and I'm like, like 38. Like, I don't give a shit, man. Throw some money at something, see what happens.
You're doing the smart thing, because the more, it only takes one. That's what people need to realize. It only takes one. And I'm not gonna lie. You want 100%. Most people that know me, I'm very transparent. I respect honesty, and what I hold others to, I hold myself to most. I was one of the first few holders in Saitama, and it put me in a position where now I can do this full time.
Yeah.
I've been in DeFi for a lot of years, and I want to do good with my knowledge, and that's why I've went the route as advising good, solid businesses in the space. That doesn't mean they're always necessarily going to take my advice, but then I sometimes look at them and say, well, what did you hire me for?
They don't always know what they're hiring you for. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, they know that they're hiring you, but I think what they're wanting to do, what they want to do is they want you to think the way they want you to think. And then they don't really want you to give them ideas, and they don't want you to tell them that they're wrong. They want you to reinforce whatever it was that they thought was a great idea.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of those people that are out there.
And that's why, like, my biggest passion was becoming a YouTuber and being able to inform people. That's what I like. My thing is I've never been a shiller. Like, that's not my job. That is the developer's job to basically sell you why you should, buy their project. I've always been an individual that if I'm going to shill anything, I'm going to shill a community, because that will tell you everything you need to know.
I do those shills. Like, I do those shills, and I don't have a problem doing with it. Like I had one today, and the guy came to me. Well, I'll tell you one. Currency, the one that rug the other day.
Yep. I saw that.
On Friday night, I did I did their launch. 10 minutes before the launch, they sent me a message, said that they're not going to be in on it They just want me to do it, and they're going to watch from inside their chat. And I was like, that's fucking weird. But you know what? Let's just go for it and see what happens, right? Because I already knew some other people who had already scheduled AMAs. Like, it's not like this was one of those under the rug sort of weirdos that nobody knew about. Like, everybody knew this thing was coming. And so then we did it, and like, it was actually pretty. And I went back to him afterwards because I felt like, man, I'm like filling up the air with just words sometimes. And I went back to them like, what do you think? And they were like, actually, we liked it, man. We know we put you in a bad position, but I mean, you did a really great job, and we like to do some business with you again. And then they did a show with Brad, I think, later on that night, and like they went through the whole process and everything was fine. Then the next day went, and they were kind of making the rounds. And then Sunday came along, and Shane over at Wealthyverse started asking some questions because he saw some things that he didn't like with their wallets, and they didn't want to answer the questions. And then he said, well, if you don't want to answer questions, then I don't want to have an AMA with you. So then he canceled the AMA and sent them a message. And he didn't make it public, but when it didn't happen and they didn't say anything about it, people had already known that it was going to happen. So then they were like, hey, why didn't that happen? And they were like, well, he canceled on us. And then people were asking him, and he was like, yeah, it's not exactly how it went. And the next thing you know, that price is going down. And then people are getting mad in Telegram. And after a little while, they were like, you know what? This is not going to work out. We're just going to stop this project now. They're going to show up again and do the same project or a similar project, I'm sure, at some point in the future.
Yeah, I kind of am a little disheartened myself because I'm very, like I tell people all the time, I truly believe DeFi is the future. I consider myself a representation of DeFi.
Yep.
And I've kind of stepped away from my true one goal was being able to provide the info. And, I have another business, obviously, as a consultant, but I'm starting to get back on track to my YouTube platform, my content platform, because that's where it all really started. And that's where I've met a lot of great people. So I'm just hitting the road. Obviously, I'm jumping on some other people's stuff, to show support. I always do. But I actually just got off the phone with Shane right before I jumped in here. Otherwise, I would have jumped in before. But this is what I want to do. I love what they're doing over there, Wealthyverse. I respect what you're doing over here. And you know what? Like I had a conversation with Shane, and this is me being honest to you and your audience. I've been probably the most stingent individual when it comes to speaking about, projects in the DeFi space on my platform.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him because he's somebody I know and I respect. And I was like, would it be wrong of me to, and maybe you can feel this, like, would it be wrong of me to maybe take that other aspect and bring the information of these projects to the individuals? And obviously at the end of the day, we never give financial advice. It's always up to the individual, whether they're going to invest or not. Is it going to be a negative or a positive if I kind of transform my platform? Because I feel like with what I've been doing, I've never promoted or brought any type of rug pull or scam to my platform because, like I said, I've been extremely picky. But I think it's also been an issue with that. It's also kind of stinted my growth in a sense because, I can only give information about so many projects, and then we see what's happening with Saitama and Klee, and these are just ones I've had on my platform that you're pretty much just saying the same thing every day.
Yeah, so I reached a point a long time ago, and things are very, very different right now. This space has exploded. Things are very, very different than they were 6 months ago. 6 months ago, you owed people a favor by covering them, right? Like I would go and I would talk to Floki, and I'm like, hey man, you guys want me, like, I'm doing a show. Do you mind if I cover you? And they were like, no. As a matter of fact, we don't. And then like every token, I was originally doing just one show, and it covered like just a bunch of different tokens every single day. And I just gave them just a little bit of coverage every day. And I was making like a 15-minute, 20-minute long video, and nobody was attending it because nobody cared. Nobody wanted to see what everybody else was doing. They only wanted to see what they were doing. And then I took the ones that had the highest results. And like, for example, my favorite, I love the Floki community. Like that to me was just a great community, but like they don't support me in the same way that other people do. like, even though I argue with Saitama people day in and day out, they still come and check out my video and they're like, man, Jesus Christ, you are right about some of this crazy shit that's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, every day there's people in there checking it out. Every day people are engaging with Terra, with the Terra content. Every day people are engaging with the Volt content. Volt sponsors me. Pongo, you know, all these different people, they'll sponsor me. I'll make these videos and stuff like that. And they're good projects. But when I first started, like, that's all you did was go out there and just say stuff. And now it's directed, and now people are like, hey, will you do this for me too? Because, like, I really like the way you talk and what you do. And I always look at the project before I take it, and I charge, like, I try to stay expensive, because I don't want, like you're saying, like, I don't want somebody to come to me with some bullshit project. I am not Austin Hilton level or Scott Herman or any of those guys. But I like for what piece I get, I say, listen, I will take this project, but I'm going to review it. I'm going to look at your contract. I'm going to look at your wallets. And if I like it, then I'm going to do it. If I don't like it, then I'm not going to do it. And don't ask me again. And that's the way I do it. And that's led to the one thing that I can say that was, there's always going to be some tokens that'll just not succeed. But the one bad one was currency. And I have a feeling that they just said this is not going to work out, not because they were trying to rug the project, but because they knew that everybody was just pissed off because they were probably too heavy invested in their own personal wallets and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean, like I don't think they were intending for it to be rug, but I don't know. But that was the only one in all this time.
No, and I know, like, I'll be honest with you, to me, it's all about, I want to protect my supporters who I consider family. Right. And my channel is not large. I have over 1,000 subscribers, but most of those individuals, 90% of them, I know. I've had conversation with them. I consider them friends, Yeah. And, like you said, I'm not the Austin Hiltons and stuff like that, but like, if I mention a project, like I have, like, obviously the recent one I've been a big supporter and an advisor for is Goat Token. I mean, out of my 1,000 subscribers, I personally know that at least 350 of them bought into it because of me. And it's been, and like most of them, most people mess with me like, man, thanks for, letting us know about this. It's been, I've 7X'd, I 12X'd, like those are the stories I want to hear. And that's why I always want, but I've also had people, reach out to me and give me shit about Clee because I was a supporter of Clee. But I said, hey, it's not a scam. It's not a rug pull. Unfortunately, the market does not want Clee right now. Right. And it's hard for me to understand because like they have a utility, they have a game, but unfortunately, that's not what the market wants right now. Like, unfortunately, we're at a place where, there's a small group. In all honesty, there's a small group of people that control the majority of the market, and when they move from project to project to project.
I thought that Clee was going to be something impressive.
So did I.
And I got to be honest with you, when that game came out and it was just a runner game, I was highly upset. And at that point, by the way, I was not throwing money at everything, just investing just to see what would happen. I was like very selective in what I was doing. And I thought so long and hard about getting into Clee Kai because I know some people that have made like life-changing money off of it. So I thought about it in a money sense. And then I saw the game and I'm like, no, fuck that. No. Mm-mm. Like I really had, because I'm in the alpha and Starlink, and
okay,
I'm looking at an actual game that's an MMO that's in space where you can buy property, and like Starlink was a real game, and Clee Kai was that was crazy to me. Like that was just crazy that this is the best that you could give me.
But they went after they took a concept that from some other games that are very similar to it that have had huge, massive success in the App Store. And I kind of understand it, but like, let's be honest with you, it's about limited funds because people don't realize, like I hear projects all the time saying, yeah, we got these developers developing our game. You ever heard of Grand Theft Auto or this or that? I'm like, do you guys realize that those type of games cost $50 to $100 million
years to develop? Yeah.
In a lot, like, and you're trying to tell a community that these are the people you have developed. Like, Like most projects, most of these businesses, projects, whatever you want to call them, don't have that type of funding to create a game like that.
Yeah, but you know what? We're in a space right now where, and some of it is going to be marketing, but we're in a space right now where we are the GoFundMe of of this generation right now. There's no more like just go here, let me have all this money. Well, create your own token on a network and market it and teach and learn how to be whatever it is that you think you are.
Yeah.
And like that's really great. That's an amazing thing that's happening right now. And it's happening in front of our eyes. It's just that some people are taking advantage of it, but we still see so many really great things. But like Clique High, the crazy thing is like I could have fixed Clique High. Like all you had to say was, listen, we're gonna put this game out. This game is just a game to tide you guys over while we're working on something else. And I'd be working on something else, getting a game ready that's play to earn that would give people an opportunity. And like if I just had to skin some other game to make it work so that we could earn and people could do stuff with it, okay. There's plenty of programmers out there that can just make different kinds of games. Like there was a concept there, and I think they missed it because like that little Clique High character looked really cool. Like I think they had something there. They just didn't do it the right way.
100%.
As you can see, I have a lot to say about some of these old projects that I was in or that I was looking at and shit like that, and it just didn't work out. Like I still to this day think Kishu those were some great developers. Those are some great leaders, but like that project is just so screwed right now.
Kishu, you knew the NFT project?
Yeah.
The one that's building out the staking platform or whatever?
There's everybody. Yeah. But I mean, like they're all doing that. You know what I mean? Like all it's doing is pumping at the bottom. It's got a lot of holders, but it's got there's nothing left to it. It's not pumping anymore. Like money is not, it's just kind of there. And there's so many different projects that are like that. And they're good people in decent projects that just, the market is not kind.
No, 100%. That I agree with you on.
This market is rough. Here, Kishu has 252,000 holders.
What?
Has 252,000 holders.
Holy.
And it's got a market cap of 8 zeros, 137. And if you scroll out, it's just been going down, down, down.
What's their diluted market cap? Their true market cap?
132 million.
And they've done a lot of marketing.
Right. And they had a giant pump in November. Like they really had a giant pump where they lost to zero. But then it fell all the way back down to earth. And they had another even bigger pump way back. Like they were one of those things that was coming right after Shiba. They were the next Shiba. They just didn't capitalize on it. And like you can go back and you can look at it and you can kind of like take an analysis and say, you know what, to be positive, they're creating higher floors every time, but these floors are years out. So, and at 252,000 holders, they have 132 million market cap. Go look at Saitama, which has maybe 100,000 holders and 200,000 dust wallets. And they've got a market cap of 600 million right now. So it's 5 times as much the value of each one of the wallets, at least, even with dust wallets. So Kishu's in the same boat as Saitama. It just looks good because it has a bunch of people, but it's just dust wallets. Then you go look at somebody like Terra, who's just now coming up. Today, Terra was within, I think, something like $10 million of passing Saitama on this little run up that they were having up here.
Yep.
They were within $10 million in market cap of passing Saitama. They have 8,000 or 9,000. They have 9,000 holders to Saitama's 340 something thousand.
Holy.
Yeah, like that's how skewed the money is. That's how weird everything has gotten in this market. Like it's just crazy. And Kishu, like I love the project. And Sanshu, like I love Sanshu. Hawkfi was a great idea. It's just none of these things can get any traction, like because you're in this market, and this market is so heavily diluted with new shit coins every day. with no purpose other than to pump. And I'm guilty of it too, man. I'm in a bunch of those. But that's the market that we're in. Like, I mean, embrace it, make money off of it, and just deal with it. And then, take your money out, invest it into real long-term stuff, and then invest some of it into these pie in the sky. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And then just keep going in shitcoins and keep making money and just keep staking. And I mean, like we were talking earlier, like, I mean, dude, it's almost ludicrous if you're not in Hex at this point. Like, it's almost insane if you're not. I sacrificed for Pulse Chain a long time ago and Pulse X. So one day my wallet's just going to have a couple of the greatest tokens in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it stable your money, put it in Hex, just let it work for you. The same thing with anything that you want. Just stake it and put your money away and just let it grow and let it grow and let it grow. That's all you got to do. Whew. I think Keith might have passed out.
No, I'm here. Yeah, no, working,
Right on, man.
Never stop.
All right, well, I'm going to end this. I'm going to go to bed. I got to work in the morning. I got to get some beauty sleep, and as you guys can see, I need a lot of fucking beauty sleep.
Well, I appreciate it. You gentlemen have a good night.
Yeah, Kings, thanks for coming in. Keith, thanks for coming in. Guys, everybody in here, remember, it's not financial advice. Take your profits on the way up. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And remember the most important things. I am Bleaves, and I am always right.